or you need more information, please feel free to ask. I'm also going to just start by sharing my screen with you, and I do want to make sure that you can indeed see my screen as well. Perfect. So we are going to start by how do you get to your IQ office, and what is your website? So this is your company's website. It's pinnaclerealtyia.com, and your website is going to be your IQ username .pinnaclerealtyia.com. So if I were in your system, my website would be kfulton.pinnaclerealtyia.com. And that's how you get to your website to log in and edit it. And what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to take you through a few things so that you know how to go in, edit, and where to begin really personalizing your website so that when you're sending clients to your website, you feel good about it and you know what it looks like. So once you're on your website, you're actually going to the very bottom of the page, and there's a section that's called IQ Web Login. When you click that IQ Web Login, it's going to pop open a box where you're going to enter your username and password. And your username and password for your website are the same username and password that you use for your IQ office. And you know that you've entered into your edit mode when you see this black bar across the top of the screen. So that's how you know that you're in edit mode. And as you're beginning, the best place to start editing your website is by choosing the design that you like. So to do that, you're actually going to go into this design tab, and you're going to click on design, and you can scroll through multiple designs. So I can actually scroll through. I can look at every design. I can say I'd like to see what design 4 looks like. It will show you a thumbnail of what that layout looks like. It will also give you a bulleted list of what the features are. So a property portal sign up in the header, agent details section in the upper right-hand corner. You can see that in that layout. As you scroll through, a lot of them have different opportunities. So this one only has one header image, but it also has an opportunity for a video on the homepage header. The layout is a little bit different. So spend some time here looking at the different designs and choosing the design that you like best. After you do that, you'll choose your color scheme. So what color do you want your buttons to be? Do you want them to be that pinnacle blue? Do you prefer them to be mauve? You choose all of that, and then once you've decided, you're going to click use this design, and it's automatically going to apply that design. Does anybody have any questions so far about where you go to choose your design, what those bulleted lists are, or choosing the button color? Everybody feel good about that part? So I'm assuming that you're nodding your heads. Yes, because I can't see you. And if you don't, let me know. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jen. That's what I needed. So after you've chosen your design, and I don't want you to get hung up when you're looking at these designs with the images. So if you see these images and say, well, all these 4 boxes are the same, I don't want that. All the images that you have are editable. So as I go into the edit mode, I can actually see my edit button here. I can see it on my call outs. I can see it in the neighborhood. So here's those 4 boxes, and they all have different photos. So you really can take some time to customize it after you choose the layout. The first thing I want to talk about is customizing this header. So if you click the gray pencil button, all the images on the website edit in a very similar way. So I can see here I've got 6 slides available to me. Do I want a caption? Yes or no? And I can actually scroll through and say, okay, I do want to show the second slide and the third and the fourth and the fifth. If I decide, hey, I only want 5 slides, right here, you just say show. I decide I don't want the 5th slide, I would just select no. And then this slide is not going to rotate through those options. Again, it's just clicking the drop down and showing that. On the right-hand side, it's going to show you the properties that you have. Do you want properties for sale or properties for lease? What property do you want to be displayed? Do you want subtypes? If you want to put in a listing minimum price, you can do that. So all of these fields are customizable. To change the image of the photo, you would just click on this blue change button. And then what you have an option to do is actually use an uploaded image that you have uploaded, or you can go into the realistic tab, and there are a ton of stock images here. So you could actually go in, I could say, hey, I need to find some information or a photo about Northville. It's going to pull up all the stock images that we have. You can go in and you can say, hey, I would like some lifestyle photos. And all you do to change that photo is click this blue select button. Once you do that, it changes the photo. I'm not going to select it because I don't want to change your guys' website. So I can actually go in here. This one's not showing. I can choose a lifestyle photo. And I click select and it inserts that photo in there. Once I've made all my changes to all my tabs, I can actually click OK, and then there will be a green save button in the upper right-hand corner. And so anytime you see this green save button, you do need to click it. There is nothing in the world more frustrating than actually going in and doing a whole bunch of changes on a website or a spreadsheet or anything with technology, and then not hitting that save button and having to start all over. So just a quick recap to show you where we're at. We logged into our website here at the bottom. Then we went up to the design tab and we chose our design. We scrolled through, we looked at them, we clicked update this design. And then we went and we started to edit our header images. So we edited those header images, and we also made it so that we knew that this was coming in as residential or multifamily or commercial or whatever it is that you wanted to display. As you scroll down, every section of your website, you can edit like that. So I could actually go in and I could edit these call outs. So if I wanted this display to not be a house, I could actually change the icon. I could scroll through all the available icons and select the icon that I wanted. And it would change that icon. As you scroll through, again, icon number 3 is not showing, icon number 4 is, 5 is, 6 is, so you can actually change all of that. If there's a section on your website, Doug, I see that, and I'm going to get with Savannah. We'll make sure it all is. If there's a section as you're scrolling through here that you don't want to show, so if you say, hey, I don't want to show these 3 callouts, you can actually click this hide button. You're going to say, okay, yes, I wish to hide this, save, and now if I were to log out, this section is hidden. If, as you look at it, you decide you would like to show it again, all you have to do is click and say, click here to show call out. And again, it will show that, it will take you back to right where you are. Doug, I'm just making myself a quick note here. Ryan Me website. So how does everybody feel about editing their front homepage? Are there any questions about how to edit photos, any of that side of things? Everybody feel good about it? I know that this is a ton of information. We're gonna go through a lot today. Um, and I want to make sure that you're getting everything that you need. You can. So Katie asked, for those of you that aren't looking at your chat, Katie asked, can we upload our own photos? And yes, the answer is absolutely. So if I wanted to upload my own photo to one of these call outs, I could actually click the edit button and then I could say, hey, I want to change this photo. And then underneath my images, I could actually say upload. And I could choose the image that I wanted to upload. It's going to enter it in, and then I have an opportunity to select that image. So it's going to crop it. I can click OK, and then it's going to enter that image in. So it changes that image. If I look at it in here and I'm like, ugh, I just don't like the way it looks, again, you can change it again, and you can go back and select a different image that you have uploaded. Again, always clicking that green save button when it shows, because there's nothing more frustrating. It is. So Katie, the goal of this is you can go in, you can spend some time, you get the results you want, but you don't have to be a programmer to design your website and have it look nice. So just so you all know, we're about 25% of the way through. So we're about 15 minutes through our first section of this. So this is what I want you to write down so that you know what you need to do after this webinar. Before our session next week, I would like you all to put about 45 minutes on your calendar to work on your website. And this is what I had to do when I first got into the system, because there's so much you can do, and you could spend so much time in designs and so much time customizing what photos you want and what you want the text to look like. Set a timer on, like, an old-fashioned kitchen timer across the room from you for 20 minutes. Go in, work on your website for 20 minutes. When that timer goes off, you need to get up and turn the timer off, and then take a break from it and come back to it. That way you're still focusing on your clients and building your business, but you are also working on your website. Jen, no, this training is not on hard copy, but you will get a digital copy of this webinar. And there's a whole bunch of training on our YouTube channel that breaks each piece of this into about a 2-minute section. Good question. All right. So a couple other things you will want to know about your website. I know that everybody has a little bit different technology skill set, but I do want to just point out, underneath the advanced option, there is a place where you can connect your Google Analytics and also connect your Facebook pixel. So if you're running Facebook advertising and you need to link your Facebook pixel, you can do that by going to Advanced Facebook Pixel ID. And then you can actually see where you need to go to do that. And the same goes for your Google Analytics. So you can actually go in and put your Google tracking number on your website. You just copy and paste it and click save, and then it will save to your website. All right. So the next section that I would like to go into is, how do you go in and edit your profile, and how do you make sure that all your profile information is correct in your IQ office? So what we're looking at now is your IQ web, and what we're going to go into is your IQ office. And there's two ways that you can really get to that. You can always get to it on your website by going to your IQ office login right here, or you can save your mypriowa.com to your browser. To do that, you just click on the little star next to the web address, and you can actually save it as a bookmark. You can say, this is my IQ CRM page, and you can save it to your bookmarks bar, and click done. I've got too many bookmarks, but I can actually see it there here, my IQ CRM page. So that is a quick link for you. When you log in, what we're going to do is really focus on getting your profile page up to date. And so to access your profile, you're going to click on your name in the upper right-hand corner. And then you're going to go to your profile right here. And that's going to open up your profile edit screen. And this is really where you can go in and start to edit your information. And so you can actually make sure that your cell phone is correct. And if you speak additional languages, you have certifications like your GRI and your ABR and all of those wonderful initial certifications, you can put that here. You can change your password if you need to. You also can change your image. So your images should be uploaded, right, Doug? Those are all in? Yep. So your images are all in. However, if you all of a sudden decide you need to get a new photo because your photo's from 1994, you can upload your new image by just clicking on the upload button. Again, add a file. You browse for the photo on your computer, and you click open. It will automatically upload that file. It tells you it's been uploaded. It doesn't take the old one away. And the first photo that shows will always be your profile photo. So if you maybe have seasonal photos, so maybe you have one in the fall and one in the spring and one in the summer, you can just rotate them out by dragging and dropping those photos. The other part in here that you need to know about are your profile. So if you have a video that of yourself or the area that you want to display on your website, all you have to do is copy and paste that URL right here. And below that is where you can edit your profile text. So this is where you put your information about you. Why are you in the business? What does it mean? What do all those initials next to your name mean? What are your goals for your clients? This is where you put your bio so that when people are on your company website or on your website and they go to look for you, when they click, they actually have your bio. Everybody feels good about that? That's where you go to update that information. Below that is where you put your email signature. So this is where you put your email signature for all your IQ messages. We're going to go through messages next week. There are some template email signatures in here that you can choose from. So you could actually say, hey, I want to use this dark gray signature. It's going to automatically put your profile picture in. It's going to put your information in and your company logo. You click save and it inserts it in there. If you want to edit that information, say, hey, I'm going to do this. You can actually go in and you can say, okay, I need to put my cell phone in here and I want to put my website and click OK. And now that information is in there. The next thing you need to remember before you go to the next tab is to click the save button. If you don't click the save button, you're going to be very sad when you go in to look at your preferences and set up your lead preferences and you lose all of your edits. So underneath your preferences tab is where you put in information about how you want to receive notifications. So do you want to be notified of new leads by email? Always, never, or use my office hours. And there's office hours at the bottom of the page. What I recommend is for this new leads by email, by text, and by phone. I personally do not need to receive leads 3 ways. I appreciate getting a lead email when I'm in my office, and I'm typically in my office in the mornings between 7:30 and about 12:30. But if I'm out of the office, I just need it to come to my phone and my text. So I recommend having one of these 3 be always. And the other 2, choose if you want to receive them or not. So personally, I never need to get a phone call. I would like to always get a text, and I would like to use my office hours for email. That way, if I don't have my phone, I'm not looking at my phone and I'm in my office, I can still get my email that comes through. But we all know that sometimes it's hard to pick up our phones, especially if you're out showing houses, or perhaps you're in your cold calling time. Maybe you're someone that cold calls in the morning. And so it's really easy to answer a text and accept a lead via text versus answering a phone call in the middle of that. So you have to choose what works best for you here and set your preferences. Your tasks are, as you start to work your customer database, you will have to-do action items, and you choose how you want to be notified of tasks. Do you want by email or by text, by neither? How do you want to receive your notifications for things that you have on your to-do list? Same thing for showings and transactions. Doug, are you guys going to be using this for showings, or are you already using something else? Perfect. So don't worry about showings. You guys are using showing time, so you don't need to worry about the showings notification. But transactions, by email, by text, and that is a training for a later date. Don't panic about what that means. The next section is default property flyer and default action plans. So when you have a new listing, you are going to get an email from the system that looks similar to this. It's going to say, hey, congratulations on your new listing. Here's how you can click through to see the websites, or you can instantly share them on social media. You also can download your property flyer, and you can order property postcards. We're going to go through how you actually do all that. But if you want to choose the default flyer for your listings, you do that underneath your preferences default property flyer. You click the magnifying glass, and then you can scroll through all of the different flyers that are available. So you might say, hey, I like this just listed light blue. And now when you get that email, it's automatically going to have that flyer attached to it. So you don't have to go in and edit the template. Below that are your default action plans. So an action plan is a to-do checklist for a listing or a lead. A listing action plan is something like take a picture of the sign, share it on social media, put in your showing instructions, set up your seller reports, make sure that you're ordering your marketing materials, all of those things. A new lead is someone clicked on what's my home worth on my website. They came in as a lead to my CRM, and now I need to call them 3 times the first day that they come in. I need to email them twice. I need to set them up on our portal, and I need to make sure they're added to my direct mail list. You can customize those to be what you would like them to be. You also can attach them so that anytime you take a new listing, you can actually go in and say, okay, I want to attach this new listing action plan so that when I take a new listing, this action and that I can just my checklist instead of figuring out what I need to do, finding my piece of paper, writing out my steps, and making sure that things are done. Same thing for reduced, new lead. You can search. There are a couple action plans in here for you to use. I'm going to say, hey, call within 24 hours. That's a follow-up request. That's what I'm going to do. Again, as I go, I'm clicking the save button in the upper right-hand corner so that I'm not losing anything. Your marketing notification. Are there any questions so far? I know that this is a lot of, okay, this is what this is what this is, but it is important that you know where these are. Any questions or you feel good about it all? Good. So marketing notifications, when you order postcards through the system, you actually can choose how you want to be notified. Do you want to be notified of newly mailed, of items that are close to being delivered and newly delivered? If you would like to assign your leads to someone else, so say I'm out of town and I want to assign my leads to Katie, I could actually say, hey, I want to assign these leads to Katie. And now any lead that came in, I am not aware of it being blurry, Rosalind. Is it blurry for anyone else? Let me see if I can fix that. Is that better or worse? Thank you for saying something. Awesome. Good, good, good. Yes, no problem. No, it shouldn't be blurry. That would be silly. And if technology worked perfectly all the time, none of us would have a job. That's half the battle, right? Getting technology to work with us, not against us. So I'm underneath this lead assignment. Below that is Zillow. Do you want your Zillow testimonials to show on your website? Yes or no? We saw that on Rosalind's. Her clients, her reviews for Zillow are here. You do need to make sure that your Zillow email address, if it's different than the email address you have on your details page, you need to put that email address here. If you choose to use Real Satisfied, which is an automatic survey system, you can also have your Real Satisfied testimonial show. You just need to put your vanity key in. And at the very bottom of the page are your office hours. So this is where you can set your office hours so that at the top where you're saying use my office hours, it knows what office hours to pull from. Office hours. I know. I use office hours. They don't display on your website, Katie. They just are for, hey, if I want to get notified by email just during my office hours, I can do that. It's like, have you guys seen the meme that says, hooray, it's Friday, said no real estate agent ever? I saw one the other day and it was like one of those funny, like pink ones with an old fashioned lady, like throwing papers in the air. It was hilarious. So the next section I would like to go through is this goals section. And this is a great opportunity for you to sit down with your managers, or even just by yourself if you don't want to sit down with your manager, and go through what your goals for the year are. So you can actually go through and you can say, hey, my living expenses for the year are about $26,000. I want to take home and put in the bank $75,000. That means I need to be making 101,000. I believe that's my math. Nope. 110. The average sales price in my area is 283. The average commission rate per side is 2.5. I sell, so the listings that as a percent, listings sold as a percent of my sales is about, we'll say it's 65%. Of the new listings I take and then I close, I sell about 60% of those. My buyers are 35% of my business, and about 5% of my contracts fall out. When I click recalculate, it's actually going to tell you how many sales you need to close, how many of those need to be listings, how many new listings you need to take, how many buyers you need to close, and how many buyers you need to be working with at all times. So it actually gives you a really good map of what you need to do. When it comes to 2020, you can actually click new and you can say, hey, I'm going to do my 2020 goals, and you can set up an entire year. This tool, in my opinion, is invaluable. I want to know exactly what I need to do. I want to make sure that I'm on track. I want to know how many sellers I need to be talking to versus buyers, especially in the tight market that I feel like we're all experiencing. To have those goals and know where I'm at and be able to have a realistic number conversation of what am I doing, how is it measuring, where am I moving is huge. And it's all right here for you to do. You don't have to have an Excel spreadsheet with it. You can say, okay, I actually changed my goal and I want to make more money than this. I want to make 85,000. And that means that I need to bump this, and I can click recalculate and it changes. So I need to have 18 new listings. I need to sell 16, 11 of them need to close. This is where it's coming from. So this is a great tool for you. And really in the next week, making sure you're going through, making sure all your details are correct, making sure all your lead preferences are set up the way that you would like them, and setting your goals here is huge. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to edit your website so that your website is customized to you, so that when your people come to your website, they get a feeling for who you are. The only thing I didn't mention on this details page that we need to talk about is how do you link your social media? So you can actually link all your social media here so that when you're on your website, see how these are all grayed out? If you want these to show, you actually can just go in and you would put your Facebook link here. The easiest way to do this is to go to your Facebook. I'm going to pull up my Facebook. Sometimes my friends put weird stuff on here. I'm super sorry if something weird comes up. I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, okay, here's my page. I'm going to copy, which is Control C. If you're a PC user, it's Command C. If you're a Mac user, and then Control V or Command V. I'm going to put my Facebook group in. I'm going to put my LinkedIn page in the same way. I'm just copying that URL and putting it in and clicking save. Then as I put these in, these icons will highlight and become clickable for your consumer. So that's where you do that. Are there any questions on setting up your profile or editing your website so far? This tab? I went to my name in the upper right-hand corner. I went to my profile, and then it opens up to my main details page. This is where I'm going to begin editing my information. You may need to resize the image, Doug, depending on what it is, and I can find out what the exact dimensions need to be for best resolution. Will you email me and Savannah, Doug? Yeah, send us a list of the ones that are cut off and we'll get them fixed for you. Because we want to make sure that those look good. Awesome. The last thing, if there's no other questions right now, the last thing that I want to just quickly talk about is this links button. So you can actually click on this links button, and there are a whole bunch of quick links for you that your office is programmed in. So if you need to go to your Facebook agents only page, or you need to go to your list hub or order your signs or your RPR, instead of having to remember 1,000 places, you can just click on your quick links. You can actually go in and say, hey, I need to get to the assessor's page, and I can get there. The other thing that you have access to is you have access to this knowledge base. So you can actually go in and ask questions here. And if you have leads that come in after you set your notifications, you are going to always get IQ notifications. So when you're in IQ, if this little box has a red dot, it means that you have a notification of an action item that needs to be completed or a new lead that came in. And we're going to be going through all the customer management side of things next week. Really, today is about getting your profile up and running, getting your web page to a place where it's personalized and it's you, and making sure you know where to log in. The other thing that I would like to let you know about is that we do have a YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, you can find us as Realistic Support. This is what the channel looks like. I'm actually going to put that in the chat box for you. And we post all of our webinars that are on Mondays here. We also have playlists that have information about open houses or website editing or setting up your profile. All of that information is here for you, and this is a really great resource. We also have a Facebook page, and I know a lot of you are members, but we would love to have you join us here in a conversation about how do we build your business, and what information can we get to you. So we're about 40 minutes in. I have found that the first session, this is a ton of information for you, and I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to make sure that you feel good about moving forward. Before our session next Monday, I would love to have you all have gone in, you've edited your website, your profile is up and running, you've got your lead preferences in. Next week, we're going to dive into contacts and contact management, and how do I schedule follow-ups and all of that, so that you know how to use the CRM portion of this and how to make your business work for you. I'm here for a few more minutes. There is no such thing as a silly question. Are there any questions that any of you have about editing your website or editing your profile today? Rosalind, does this sync with BombBomb? Do you mean, like, can you send a BombBomb message out of IQ Office? No, not at this time. Oh, perfect. I'm going to cross that off my list. Thanks, Doug. So Jen, this is what I'm going to do. So we have 3 more sessions after today. Jen asked a good question. Am I available for questions if we get stuck? This is what I would encourage you to do. Go to Doug and your team there first. And if he can't answer it, because it's always nice to have someone on site, we can get a time on, or save. It says PJ, go to PJ. Or save your questions for next week's session, and I will make sure that we save some time at the end to make sure we're going through and getting everybody's questions. Hang on, Doug. I'm going to unmute you so that you can talk. Because you said no. Doug, I unmuted you, so you should be able to talk if you have a mic on your system. But you may not have a mic because it's not lighting up.
All right, can you hear me?
Oh, there, it's lit up.
All right, so
I
no, that
can.
was PJ who said no, but they can come to me or PJ if they have any questions.
Okay, I was like, wait, no, don't
Yeah,
go to
no,
PJ.
PJ was
He just
sitting next
said
to
go to
me, so he's
PJ.
like, no. So yeah, we're good. So they can come to either one of us. I think both of us have a
Awesome.
pretty good handle on it. So yeah, if you have questions and you want to set up a time with either one of us, for 20 minutes or so, we can go over it one-on-one with you to help out.
Here's the other thing. You cannot break the system. So getting in and playing with it and seeing how it works is not going to hurt the system. So get in and play with it in the next week, because the more you're in, the easier it gets.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. Well, you will get a recording of this. And Doug, I'll be sending you a recap email as well with some links to get out
Perfect.
to your crew. Awesome.
All right,
Have a great day,
thanks.
guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. You're welcome.